What's poppin', T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea All Shade Power Season 4 Episode 7 review. So I have some behind the scenes tea for you.
What you want, what you need, what you want.
If last week's episode to you seemed jam-packed full of shit and it was just all over the place, it apparently was for a reason. So it was reported Sunday's episode, which saw the death of two major characters played by Nika Noni Rose and J.R. Ramirez, was originally planned to be a two-parter to include some additional storylines. However, according to showrunner Courtney Kim, stars didn't agree to extend the episode order, resulting in just one packed episode. Kim said that as a result, the episode lost some story elements. Unfortunately, stars would not give us the extra episode. Kim told Entertainment Weekly, I asked them for 12 episodes for season 4 and they would not do it. So because they would not do it, we had to make it one episode. Also, for those of you who were wondering what Tasha did with that $2 million, the writer's room tweeted Tasha used some of that money to keep Keisha quiet. I said that down in the comment section to one of you all that she used some of that money to go towards LaKeisha's shop. I'm very tired. I'm so fucking sleepy, but I'm going to push through this review, letting you know right now I did not like tonight's episode. Start off this episode with Ghost and Tariq on a train going home. Tariq got blood on his collar and Ghost covers it up and wraps his arm around him. Tariq don't really give a damn. Tommy goes to his stash spot to find out that it was robbed by Ghost and Kanan. He's stunned that Kanan is alive. He gets a phone call from Ghost. Ghost tells him that Tariq was in trouble and to meet him. Tommy pulls up on them and asks Tariq, is he okay? Tariq just stares at him and runs and rushes to his arms because he trusts Tommy more than he trusts his dad. Tommy and Ghost step to the side to talk while Tariq is in the car. Tommy tells him about the kidnapping that Tasha did not tell Ghost about. Tommy tells Ghost that if he were anyone else, he'd been dead for what the fuck he did. Tommy, I told y'all too down in the comment section last week, it wasn't gonna be no beef between them two. Tommy asks Tariq, did Drake know Kanan was alive? And Tariq says no. And I'm like so tired of the writers making this little boy be a jackass, but it's to push this stupid ass narrative for him to continue to be a jerk off and continue to act out against his parents. And I'm just over this stupid ass storyline already. Like, this nigga damn near died and he still got an attitude. Like, oh God, you ungrateful bastard. Mock tells Angela, Sachs, and Sandoval that they're still suspended and probably will be fired, but you know they ain't. They're civilians and have access to nothing. Ghost and Tariq walk in the house and Tasha goes off asking him where the fuck he been all night. Tariq says, you lied to me about Sean. And Tasha's like, what the fuck is your black ass talking about? Ghost tells her that Kanan kidnapped him. Apparently it wasn't the first time. And she was like, oh shit, I forgot to tell you about that. So she realizes that Slim is Kanan and that Tariq has been lying to her this whole entire time. Ghost tells Tariq to go wash up and he then takes Tasha into their closet to talk. She explains that she didn't get a chance to tell him what happened, but that, you know, she did the best that she could under the circumstances that she was dealt with. And that Tariq lie all the time and shit now. And Ghost said, you had one job, Tasha. And she said, one job? I was dealing with your son on top of scraping together money for your bail and playing wifey in court while you're oblivious ass prancing around prison because Proctor didn't want you stressed out. Ghost say, so it's easy to be locked up for something you didn't do? And she say, you were innocent, but remind me again why you were arrested. And then they dumbasses have him say, for protecting Tommy. What? And she say, wrong. You got arrested because you dipped your dick in that fat bitch. And then they have this fool say, this ain't got shit to do with Angela. I wanted to stop taking notes at that moment because I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the writers and this stupid ass shit. I'm sick of the writers and this stupid ass storyline, the stupid ass dialogue they have these characters saying. This is the stupidest shit they could have had this nigga say. Of course you was in jail because of Angela. It ain't got shit to do with nothing else. Like, oh. Like, this shit gives me an aneurysm. Oh my God, I hate this show now. I hate Power. I only continue to do these reviews because of you all. Because you all like them. But as of today, I officially hate this show. ear hustling as they fight, and Tasha say Tariq started acting a fool when you decide to leave this family for her. And then Ghost say, I didn't leave our family, I left you.
I also want to point out that in this,
I want to take this wig off and pretend like I'm Tasha and beat the shit out of him. Like, I don't understand why, like, they keep on having this nigga dog hurt and keep on having him saying the most cruel shit to this woman after she has done everything under the fucking sun for this bastard. I can't stand this nigga. I can't stand this show. I can't stand these writers. I can't stand none of this stupid shit. She say our life was real, and with Angela you could pretend to be something you weren't. And then Ghost say this ain't got shit to do with you and me, it's about Tariq and motherfucking Kanan. And she say we wouldn't be talking about Kanan if you would have killed him 10 years ago like I told you to. Raina hears everything, then knocks on the door. Tasha and Ghost pretend like they the Cleavers. like what? Like this bitch ain't leaving to Beaver. So Raina tells them that the doorman is sending a man up for Ghost. They don't know who it is. Motherfuckers just showing up to their house unannounced and shit. So Tasha and Ghost go to the elevator and find Stern. He's brought a team over to discuss Ghost's image. The lady says they'll need to do some redecorating for this interview they want him to do with Olivia Norman. The interview will put Ghost in the view of every politician and tastemaker in New York and launch their real estate venture. Stern wants Tasha and the kids in the interview. Tasha, of course, says no because the kids have been scrutinized enough and she don't want them to continue to go through that. Stern pressures Ghost to get Tasha on board. He goes over there to tell her, you know, look, we got to do this. She still says no. And then he turns around, wraps his arm around her and say, we going to do it anyway. After you just sat up here and told her you didn't leave your family, you left her, but now you need her at the same token. Like, I don't understand why. Girl, I would have been like, fuck you and this interview, bitch. I'm not doing shit. All y'all can kiss my natural black ass. Oh. Tommy rolled up on Dre with his gun and asked him how long he knew Kanan was alive in New York. Dre plays dumb and act like he didn't know who Jukebox is and says he didn't know nothing about Kanan. Tommy believes him for now. Dre asks, did Tariq say he knew Kanan? And Tommy says no. Dre tells him they got bigger problems. He points out Julio's car and says he hasn't been answering his calls. Tommy says that he hasn't been answering his either. Dre said he was supposed to meet a new premiere at this warehouse. And Tommy say, what new premiere? And Dre says he didn't tell me. Like, come on now. A nigga like Tommy that's already suspicious of this nigga. Like, this scene is just so, like, they create situations that are so stupid and unbelievable. He already suspects him of being foul. Then you tell me that my distro is missing, but you the only one that magically know where this nigga is at, and then we find him dead in the motherfucking warehouse. Come on now. Like, this shit is stupid, my nigga. They go inside. They find the Julio body on the damn floor. Tommy sees his tattoo been cut off. He says, look like the Toros Locos finally caught up with him. Drake looks like fuck, like they, you know, because they wasn't supposed to cut his tattoo off. Tommy says they disrespected him and Ghost. Drake said, what does Ghost have to do with this? Tommy says Ghost made a deal to keep Julio safe. Now that Ghost is out the game, they trying to send a message that they ain't scared of just me. Well, they got me fucked up. Now, see, Drake didn't know all of this, so now killing Julio has spiraled into some bullshit that he didn't foresee coming. Dre says, what you gonna do about a new distro? And he like, damn nigga, this nigga body ain't even cold and you already trying to take this nigga job. Tommy says, I want to meet Urel, set it up, put Julio somewhere nice. You got the job, kid. And then when he leave out, Dre lean down over Julio's body and say, I win, motherfucker. And I'll be glad when this little Tony the Tiger looking motherfucker die already. I'm sick of him, but I don't think he dies at all this season unless it's episode 10 and nigga don't die. But I think that he's actually coming back for season 5. Sex vows to find a way to pin the gun charge on Ghost anyway and take Angela down too. Ghost tells Tommy not to start a war because they're still under investigation. He just wants to keep them all safe. Tommy calls him out for not telling him that Ruiz was wearing a wire the night he killed him, and that Proctor told him he broke into Greg's apartment to get the recording. Ghost says, I didn't get it back. Tommy says, I know I did, but not before I heard every blessed detail. Ghost asks who got the tape. Tommy says, I handled it. Now he's going to go handle the Toros Locos. And I was like, okay, that tape gonna come back to haunt their asses because that motherfucking tape has not been destroyed like Proctor said he destroyed it. Tasha talks to Raina about the Kanan situation and tells her that if she ever sees him to stay far away from him. Raina asks, is Kanan the reason she and Ghost were fighting? Tasha says no. Raina calls bullshit, start cussing and shit too. And I'm like, all your kids just running around here cussing and cussing you the fuck out. Like, what in the fuck is going on in this household? Raina says she's sick of being lied to. She wants to know what's going on with Tyreek. Tasha tells her that Tyreek fell into the wrong crowd and Kanan was involved and that they'll need to protect him, so the next time he decides to run off, she asks Raina to tell her. Raina says okay. Tasha tells her it feels good to know that she can depend on her. And once again, it sets it up for Raina to die. Episode 9, like I told you, she's gonna be at the wrong place, wrong time, trying to save her brother stupid ass life, and she gonna end up dying because of Tyreek. If you didn't know this spoiler, now you know. I don't give a fuck. It's a spoiler. Deal with it. If you don't like it, suck a dick. Mike tells Mock that he thinks the murder is amongst them. The murderer is amongst them. He tries to pin it on Donovan. Mock agrees to look into it. Donovan and Angela are actually having lunch together, and he tells her that he, Sax, and Sandoval were all there when they searched Truth. Angela asks who knew he turned the surveillance camera off. Donovan doesn't want to say because he doesn't want to lose his job too. This nigga ain't trying to get on the unemployment line like the rest of these niggas. So Silver tells Tasha that the interview is a bad idea, but if Ghost does do it, he needs to be letter perfect, and Tasha is a part of his redemption story. He tells her she'll need to be there in case Ghost goes off track, and she's like, well, no nigga, you will be there. And he says, I don't want to, you know, represent your husband no girl, no more girl. Like, I'm trying to stick my dick up in you. Tasha says, but we need you. I need you. And Silver say, then I'll be there, but not for him, for you. And I was like, I told y'all they was going to be in a relationship together. Some of y'all didn't believe it, but what the fuck ever. I still don't see it for this little romance. He just whack and corny. Like, I'm happy they gave her a love interest, but this nigga that's playing Silver is just so fucking corny and whack, and there's no chemistry between them at all. And it's just like, ugh. Ghost and Proctor take a walk. Proctor tells him that Tommy killed the Homeland Security officer in his apartment and that he destroyed the tape. Ghost don't believe him because when he said it, he stuttered. He tells Proctor to have his apartment professionally cleaned, not once but twice. Uriel has one of his men beaten in front of Tommy and Dre. The dude says he didn't do it in Spanish. Uriel, because he didn't do it. Uriel says to Tommy to make it right, we're going to offer the kill to you. Tommy shoots the dude in the head and then turns his gun on Uriel and said that ain't good enough. He says that he wants the territory he gave him for Julio. Uriel says I can't do it unless I have approval from upstairs. And Tommy says who the human is. I'll talk to him. And when Tommy walks out, Uriel says to Dre, you said the sacrifice would work. Dre says you said you were going to kill Julio without signing your fucking name on it. If this starts a war, we're both going to lose. And of course this is going to start some type of war. And like I told y'all, Dre is out for himself this season. He is not Team Kanan nor Team Ghost. So then all of a sudden out of nowhere, we see this dude named Vincent sniffing coke. And then we see a guy named Diego and his sister Elise walk in and ask this guy who is snorting coke, is that their product? He says no. Diego's goon brings out the man's wife and tells him that their guy in narcotics told him that they got a call about a potential informant. Vincent looks at his wife, who is the potential informant. Elise then makes Vincent snort a whole pile of coke and says if he doesn't do it, they'll kill his wife and child. Because they don't blame her, they blame him. So the man started just sniffing coke, and of course it rushes, give him too much of a rush, and he dies. And then Diego puts a silencer on his gun and then shoots the wife in the head anyway. And then Elise, who we find out later is his sister, takes their newborn baby, I guess, to raise on her own. I'm like, what in the fuck am I watching? God damn it, a damn remake of Annie? What the fuck is this shit? They just stealing babies? What the fuck? Then Diego leaves a tarot card about Vincent's body, and I'm like, okay, here go the rehashing again of the Lobo story. I'm like, oh Lord. Mock tells Sax that once he talks to Bailey, find out the true nature of his visit with him. Ghost and the family do the interview with Olivia. Olivia says to Tasha that seeing her husband's mistress throughout the trial must have been hard, and asks why she isn't wearing her wedding ring. She then looks at Silver for help. Stern almost stroked the fuck out because his people, you know, did not do a good job of making sure that they got this perfect family shit going on. Silver reminds her that she's Mike. Tasha says that she had to sell it in order to pay for their defense team. She also lies and says that she's willing to rebuild her life with Ghost, and that the affair wasn't all his fault because she stopped believing in his dream. Well, that was the only true part in that whole fiasco that they put on for this fucking interview, because she does feel bad for not believing in his dreams initially, but that bitch don't love his ass. Donovan big head ass go to Angela's apartment. Donovan just reminds me of a milk dud. Like, that nigga reminds me of a whole Tootsie Roll. And tells her that Sax took off the books meeting with Bailey, and that Bailey has been missing for weeks. He brings over some files so they can start digging for clues. Dre is in the car with Tariq and asks why he covered for him, and Tariq say, I covered for you, so now you can give me the truth. He asks Dre, was Tommy in on setting up Kanan, and Dre says no. He asks, what about my mom? Dre doesn't say anything, so now Tariq knows that his father and mother are both heavy criminals and set up Kanan from the jump, and that they're just as evil as they make Kanan out to be. Tommy meets with the Jimenez, who he assumed were the Jimenez brothers, and Elise was like, huh, bitch, you thought wrong. Let me tell you one thing about Miss Elise, honey. Miss Elise was dressed down. Every outfit that she had on this episode, I wanted to personally wear. Loved her fucking style. Yes, ma'am. She was serving me fashion. So Tommy tells them that one of the Toros killed one of his distributors, and that his former partner had a deal to get Julio out, and that they still honored the deal by giving the Toros territory. Elise says, and this Ghost is no longer part of your organization. Tommy's like, so what? We had a deal and I expect to be fully paid. Elise says, and what do you suggest? Tommy say, my old territory back and 6 Toros corners, and I want access to your port connections in California. Diego say, your Serbian employer told you to ask us for this. Tommy says, no, Jason wants me to expand, but you already owe me. I killed Lobos. Dre looking like, holy shit, he killed Lobos? What the fuck? So Dre is getting all the tea and just taking all this information, mind you.
Also, I want to add that in this scene, they are setting it up in the future for Dre to do exactly what Ghost and Tasha did to Kanan to Tommy. Now that he knows Tommy was the one that killed Lobos, he will use that information to get Tommy prosecuted for the murder, so he then can become the Connect. He's already moved up in the rank as Distro. The ranking after that is the Connect. That is what they're going to set up his character to do. But of course, he'll get killed off by Ghost and Tommy when he tries to make this big move.
Elise say, no, nigga, we killed Lobos. We had him stabbed to death in prison. And Tommy say, no, ma'am, you did not. You tried, but you failed. He did not die. He survived and made a deal to flip on everybody, including you. So you owe me twice. Boom, bow. So Elise say, we'll have to take some time to consider. And then Tommy say, don't take too long. Now, if you ain't peep game, Tommy and Elise are going to start fucking around. She is going to kill Lala at some point, because Lala is going to get jealous that he ain't fucking spending time with her ass no more like that. But mark my words, Tommy and Elise will start fucking. They was giving each other fuck me eyes the whole goddamn scene. And remember, he liked boss bitches. He liked crazy bitches. And this bitch is obviously what? Crazy.
That is also the reason why they had Elise steal that woman's baby. So when she and Tommy do become in a relationship together, they will have a ready-made family. That baby will take the place of the baby he and Holly would have had together. It's a dumb way of doing it, but that's the rightest way of writing it.
Oh, Tariq is in his room sipping on lean, sipping on some sipping on some scissor, and playing a shooting game. Ghost comes in and asks, that don't bother you after seeing what happened to Jukebox? And he say, nah, it ain't real. Ghost asks how he met Kanan. Tariq say he met him on the street. Ghost lies and tell him that he and Tasha did nothing to hurt Kanan and that they weren't behind him going to jail. And then he gets a phone call from Tony Teresi saying he has 2 days to make Tommy call him. Then he texts Tommy and say they need to meet. And this part was stupid to me as well, because this nigga done seen a whole murder before his eyes, to sell dope and all this shit. Why do y'all as the writer still have this man lying to this boy, lying to him like he ain't just seen everything, like he ain't, like they had Ghost even saying this episode that Kanan turned him out, but yet y'all still got him lying to this boy just to push this stupid ass narrative to build other storylines that are just as equally dumb. I don't understand it. Mind you, in that scene, Ghost said to Tariq, "Come on, so you can eat dinner." And he like, "Where my mama?" And he said that she's with your aunt Lakeisha. But then we see Tasha at karaoke with Sylvia and his people, and I'm like, once again, why y'all got her lying about her whereabouts? She shouldn't give a fuck about this nigga, whether or not he care about who she hanging with. Girl, I wouldn't give a fuck. Nigga, you put our whole life in danger, bitch. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. They want her to get up and sing. She don't want to at first, but then she gets up and starts singing Whitney Houston, and Silver just sitting there cheesed like a gay man watching Drag Race. So like, he just looks so feminine to me. So Mock starts to expect Mike of this whole thing with Greg. Tasha and Silver at the end of the night, you know, flirting with each other. Silver said, "You can sing, girl." I was like, that was such a that was such a gay ass line for this man to say, "You can sing, girl. You can sing, bitch." And she was like, "Shit, you can too." And I was like, what in the, this is supposed to be sexy? No. They kiss, and I was like, ugh. And then the next morning, Tasha come out the bathroom all happy and shit, because, you know, she got her new love under new management and shit. I got love under new management. I got love under new management. And so she walk out the bathroom, moisturizing her good cocoa skin, and then she see a ring box on the bed, and she paused like, what the fuck? And then Ghost creep around the corner. They talking about some, well, it's not gonna open itself. And then Tasha pick up the box and open it, and inside he done bought this bitch a brand new ring. And he say, after you came through on the interview, I thought you deserved a replacement. And she say, I thought we couldn't afford this. And he say, Stern got me throwing a coming home party. A bunch of city councilmen will be there. I need you by my side wearing this. I need you to look the part. The first time I did this is because you made me a better criminal, but yesterday you made me a better man. And if any of you motherfuckers fell for that shit, you just as dumb as her ass, because that nigga still just using her to further his agenda. That nigga don't love her like that. He got feelings for Tasha. He got love for Tasha. But Tasha is a means to an end for him to get what the fuck he needs. And without her by his side, his image, this pristine image that he's trying to convey, will not come off correctly. He's not madly in love with her. Does he want her to be with anybody else? Fuck no, because that's the type of nigga that he is. But do he want to still do what the fuck he want to do? Of course. But that ring was some bullshit that was to keep her ass on his motherfucking basically payroll. Tommy goes to Ghost's house to see him, but he ain't there. Tariq asks, did he know Ghost put Kanan in jail? Tommy says he ain't know nothing about it. Tariq tells him Kanan told him that they all sold drugs and kill people. And Tommy say, you know, I think we should talk about this when you get older. And Tariq say, no, I want to talk about it now. And then Tommy say, then you should ask your dad about when we was kids, because it ain't my story to tell. And then he leave. At the party, Olivia comes on to Ghost, and she want to throw that caramel pussy at him, and he kind of looking like, shit, I want it, because you know this nigga ain't shit. She says he peeped him and Tasha's performance during the interview, and that Tasha doesn't love him anymore. He was looking like, oh, she don't? Like, this was news to this nigga that she don't love him no more. So then he like look over to her like, shit, she might not love me no more. And so she introduces him to Lorenz Tate character, who I told you all would be appearing in episode 7, and his name is Rashad Tate. He tells Ghost that before he commits to anything with Stern, that there's a property in his district that's interesting, and to give him a call. So Raina almost catches Tariq doing lean. He and there fucked up off this shit. He tells her that they can't trust Tasha or Ghost. Raina suggests they ask their parents to go to a prep school in Connecticut so they can get away together. That sounds so gay. They argue and Tariq pushes her out the room. It was just so corny and so after school specialist. I was like, what am I watching? Nickelodeon? But like I said, Raina ass gon' die. Episode 9. What y'all gonna bring to the funeral? Silver peeps Tasha's ring and gets mad before she can even explain. Stern tells Ghost to stay away from Rashad Tate because he's one of his weakness, meaning he's one of the homeboys. We can't have none of this homeboy. And He demands that he work with his guy instead. Ghost like, well, good thing that you just a silent partner, because I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. So Mike goes to Donovan's house to kill him, but his daughter answers the door and tells him that he's been working late. Angela and Donovan are at her apartment going over the surveillance footage, and they see Mike going up to Ghost's office alone. There's a knock on the door, and it's Sax. Sax tells Angela that they suggest Donovan did it, and she's like, nigga, Donovan's sitting right here, and Donovan looking like, you crack a motherfucker, you. And so they invite him in to look at the footage. So now it's all coming into fruition and into the realization in their minds that Mike is the fucking killer. And like I told y'all down below in the comment section last week, I had it wrong. He will die episode 8. Mike will either die next week or that nigga just gonna go to jail. So Tasha goes to Silver's crib and tells him that the ring is a part of the costume, and he tells her he wasn't being fair and that she should go, and she was like, you know, I should go, but I don't want to go because I wonder sometimes if what would have happened if I would have met you before I met Ghost. And she throw that pussy on him, and then they start fucking. And she even said in the interview that that sex scene, she was 5 months pregnant, and you can tell when she was laid back and they did that one shot where she still had her panty and bra on, and you saw her big stomach. And I was like, why did they keep that shot in there? Because it was so obvious that she was pregnant. The other shots, they concealed it very well, but that one shot should have been taken out. It just made me uncomfortable because I knew she was pregnant the whole time with her husband's baby, or her baby daddy baby. And it was just weird, and it was gross because there's no sexual chemistry there between him, and he just looked really square and lame. I don't like none of these sex scenes this season. They all been whack and retarded. So Tommy meets with Ghost at the club. Ghost tells him to call Tony because he saw him kill Charlie Murphy and Biscuit, and he don't know why Tony want to talk to him, but you know he know why. Ghost asks that he get rid of Bailey's body, and Tommy says no. Proctor said his guy would do it, and that Proctor took care of the recording too. And Ghost like, since when we still let other motherfuckers take care of our dirty work? And asks, what if Proctor kept it because he ain't our lawyer no more, he's an accomplice. And so I don't even like where they headed with this thing, where they're starting to question whether Proctor is on their side or not. I don't like it because we all love Joe Proctor, and I hope they don't do no dumb shit where they kill Joe Ferrero character off. I actually want him to get more screen time next season and have his own storyline going on, give him a little love interest, something going on, because he does a very good job on this show. So now here they are again, needing each other to set some shit straight. Ghost is gonna go talk to Proctor, and Tommy gonna go talk to Tony. So Mock runs up on Proctor and says that he thinks Bailey had evidence on Tommy and Ghost, and that he thinks they made him disappear. Mock says, your number is the last number Bailey called. What happened, Joe? Proctor act like he don't know what the fuck he talking about, and then Mock leaves, and then we see Ghost once again creeping through the fog, watching everything as it goes down. And then the episode ends with Tommy in the car smoking a blunt, and he calls Tony in jail. Tony says, I don't know any other way to tell you this, but I'm your dad and you're my son. Told y'all that was his damn daddy, and I want to meet you. Tommy say, my dad is dead, motherfucker. And then Tony say, it wasn't my decision not to be in your life, it was Kate's. Tommy say, how the fuck do you know my mother? And he say, she was a dancer at the Trop in Atlantic City. I got this thing about redheads, I want you to come see me. And at that point he realized, oh, this motherfucker ain't lying, because I got a thing for redheads too. And the episode goes off. So I give this episode a D. I did not like it at all. They was doing somewhat good the last 2 episodes, and they went right back down the shitter. And I have a try on haul video coming this week, and a review on this wig that I'm wearing, as well as 2 other wigs that I just received. So be on the lookout for new wig reviews coming up this week. I love you guys so much, and I will see you prayerfully next week. Love you. Bye.